Alright guys, so I thought I'd make a video on this. I got in my truck today to go drop off some oil for some stuff. And I noticed that my dome light's not on. And it really hasn't been on for a while. I think it probably hasn't been on for maybe 3 weeks maybe. I went down and I bought one of these LED bulbs. When I took the old bulb out, that got me wondering what's wrong, because if I don't know if you guys can see that, but the wire in it isn't broken or burnt or anything. The tools you're gonna need are just this Phillips head screwdriver, a piece of Scotch-Brite or sandpaper, and if you guys have your key, that's how I use to get the cover off. You just take it and you turn it. So these are all the tools you're gonna need. Very simple. Take this cover off. I took my key, my Toyota key, I put it in there and I just twisted it, put it in the on position. Do the same. Cover pops right off. Falls to the floor. It's alright. And I didn't really visibly see anything. Right now I have no light in it for the explanation, but I didn't see anything wrong. So I put the new bulb in and it didn't turn on. It didn't do anything. So I took my multimeter, my Harbor Freight multimeter, which is now, I realized the tips broke off of it, as you can see. And I tested to see if there was voltage. Now, the way I tested it was I took this off, and to take this off, there's these two screws, one right here and one right here, and we'll do it for the purpose of this video. So you take the screwdriver, Phillips head, you unscrew it, put your screw somewhere safe. I like to put my screws in this little cubby right here, or a cup holder, works the same. You take this other screw out, and the whole thing drops down. Alright, so now that it's dropped down, there's a little plug. As you take your fingers and you pinch it like that and you pull it out. It doesn't take that much force, and I'll do it real quick. So now this piece is out completely. So you're left with this plug. Now be very careful with this. If you have a working multimeter, it really should be easy, unlike mine, which the tips came off, but it still works. You turn it on, put one end in one hole and one end in the other, and see how much voltage you're getting. Now, I would do that again, but because it's broken, I'm not going to. But I was getting around 10 volts, which means this is working perfectly fine, and that something in here is gone wrong. So, what you do, you take your screwdriver and you unscrew this piece. Let's see if I can show you guys this. You take your screwdriver, and you unscrew this right here. Now be careful, because underneath this is a little spring and a ball. Here's the ball. You can see compared to my fingers, it's very, very tiny. And then there's this small spring. Now to explain how this works, what happens is the spring and the ball are within this switch, and when you turn it, it takes the contact off of this and puts it on either one of these depending on which way you turn it. Now, what I suspect happened was it wasn't contacting, or one of these grounds or something in here had some corrosion on it. So what I did was I took a small piece of Scotch-Brite, or whatever, sandpaper if you have it. I like to use this stuff because it usually doesn't damage the panel whatsoever. And you just want to take it and you want to get any of corrosion out. Maybe you don't even see it, but it might still be there. So you just clean it out. I've already cleaned mine out. And you just want to make sure you get all the little pieces of Scotch-Brite out. Just blow on it. Wipe it off with a paper towel maybe. And then how you put it back together for reassembly, what I did is you take this piece, the switch, you put the spring inside, and you be very careful when you put the ball inside. And then you take this piece, you figure it's going to go back on like this, because this is the switch, and this is the side the switch is on, and you're going to want to put it back on like that. Now, I like to bring it up to eye level, so it's very easy to see, and that's what I'm going to do for right now. And make sure once you get it in there, you hold it very tightly Well, not very tightly, but tight enough that the ball won't roll out, because once you lose that, you're pretty much done until you can find another one. Put that screw back in. You don't want it to thread in tight or anything. You don't really have to tighten it down too tight. It doesn't have to be like torqued or anything. Just enough so the switch works and makes contact. Then you take your whole switch panel, you find this piece back here, like that, and if you can see, there's a little cutout right there, and you're going to put it on just like this. Reversal of the removal process. Boom. All back together. Then you're going to take this, make sure this wire isn't getting pinched right here, and you're going to tuck that in, and you're going to slide it in like that. This bulb I purchased is an LED bulb, which means you're okay if you put your fingers on it because it does not get hot. However, if you're running the old style bulb, you cannot put your fingers on it because the oil on your fingers will go on the glass and will burn the filament out because they get very hot. These run super cool. So what you do is you take it, you put it in one side, depending on which side you want, doesn't really matter. Make sure the LEDs are facing down. If you're doing the other one, you don't have to worry about that. Just make sure you're wearing gloves when you reinstall it. And now it's reinstalled. Make sure it's in the spots it's supposed to be, because you don't want it popping out again. And then you test it out. Now, as you can see, what just happened there was I pressed on it a little bit. If you press on it, that's okay. It's just taking the contact off. But now you can see it works great. Put it on door. I go over, I open my door, turns right on. I shut it, turns off. Then you want to take your little plastic panel, snap it back on, and boom. Dome light works great again. It's a lot brighter, it seems, than these yellow bulbs, which are in the front. I might change them out depending how bright it is at night. As you can see, it's daytime right now, so I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. But a little tip I wanted to give you guys, just in case your dome light's not working. This vehicle I'm in right now is a 2001 Tundra, but it should be the same no matter what. So if you guys need any other help on anything, put down in the comments. Yeah, so see you guys later.